Hey everybody, welcome on into the Delmarva Sports Insider, your live and local show dedicated to local sports here on the shore. I'm Sports Director Brandon Bosser.
It's yours truly, sports anchor Devin J. Martin. For those tuning in, this will be the last year, the last show of DSI. No, this is not the last year. This is the last DSI of the year 2022.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's already flown by. Here we are, Governor's Challenge week. It's come and gone. What a week it was. We saw a lot of great action.
Absolutely. After being gone for 3 years, Brandon, the Governor Challenge came back bigger and better than ever.
Yeah, the Shore Showcase did a great job pitting the best of the Henlopen against the best of the Bayside, kicking off against each other out there.
Absolutely. They did a great job all week, and tonight was no different. Seaford is a team that I have in my top spot, and the Henlopen and Decatur
it's hard
is
to
a team.
bet against them.
Absolutely.
At this point.
And Decatur is a team that's also in the upper echelon of the Bayside, especially with David Chandler and Tribe Wise coming back for their first games of the season.
And they did tonight, correct?
Yep, absolutely. Kareem Bolden, though, he got the three ball going early on for the Blue Jays as the team of Seaford. They hit 9 of them in the game. And now Decatur comes right back. David Chandler drives the lane, finds an open Jaden Hudson, who knocks down the 3 ball. 7 of those 9 threes that I mentioned for the Blue Jays came from one place. Kashmir Wise, he was making it rain all evening, Brandon. He drains that one, and then he gets the pass from Kareem Bolden, and he gets another one to go from the same spot. And then he's not done just yet. He's going to get the swing pass right here. They're going to find him open. Somehow he's left open even though he's hot, and he nets that one. Brandon, he had 6 threes in the first half alone. His shooting helped end this game a lot earlier than many expected.
Yeah, Wise had 29 points, Bolden 17, and 11 assists for Kareem Bolden, and Brent Ricketts with 13 of his own, including that monster jam. Look at this. This looks like warm-ups out there for the Blue Jays. Everyone getting in on the action. Jaden Hudson, Bryson Coleman, and David Chandler combining for 46 of Decatur's 66 points. That's the big 3 for Decatur, but Seaford still goes out to win by 22 tonight. Now on to the final game of the Governor's Challenge, Bennett and Cape Henlopen. The Clippers, feisty on defense. Jace Hudson out in transition. Here's the jam by him, 2 hands. You'll be seeing more of that this season from the sophomore. Vikings trading in 3 for 2 here. Timmy Hitchcock knocks it down from the corner. Another close game in the Shore Showcase. Clippers come back with a 3 of their own here. Hudson, 4-3, nails it. Vikings get an open shot off of ball movement on this possession. Tyrone Tolson knocking down the 3 of his own from the top of the arch. Clippers led by 9 at the half. Now the Vikings used a strong second half to come back in the game, but the Clippers hang on, winning both of their games against Henlopen competition. Jace Hudson had 30. Zakai Smullen added 22. And the Clippers go on to win by 6 points. You know what? I think Cape Henlopen is a much improved team this year.
Absolutely, but also the Clippers. I mean, they won both of their games, as you mentioned, against Henlopen competition.
Against Cape Henlopen and Polytech.
Yeah, and both scored really good teams this year. Now, what about the other teams, Brandon?
Yeah, let's talk about how some of our other teams did and what we saw this week. Our marquee matchup of this tournament took place last night locally. Y-High defeating Dover 57-55. Dover did defeat Decatur in the Governor's Challenge as well this week. Denham Perkins, number 1 for Dover. He is a player. 20 points last night for Dover. He really showed us a lot this week. And you know what? I've seen a lot from him already this season before this week. He's one of my favorite players in the entire Henlopen Conference. Jaheim Harrell also showed up for the Senators this week, and he will need to do that more often if the Senators are going to be successful this season. As for Y-High, Antoine Wilson turning things up in the second half, but it was really Malik Leatherbury and Jalen DeShiel Andrews who were really impressive for the Tribe in this game against Dover. Malik, the spark plug on offense, and Jalen hit some clutch shots like that 3 right there that put the Y-High Tribe back in front in the third quarter. Jalen DeShiel Andrews and Malik Leatherbury, huge number 2 and number 3 players for the Y-High Tribe.
Absolutely. The depth was a team, something that cost the Tribe late in the season last year in the state tournament, and that's also going to be something that they're going to have to deal with to be a top-level team in terms of maybe going for a state championship and beating Dover, one of the best teams in the Henlopen. Again, they did it by 2, but still getting that win shows that they have a lot of skill and a lot of depth as long as everyone in that starting lineup plays great. Now, Brandon, another great matchup was Bennett and Polytech. They went head-to-head on Wednesday. Both of those teams are in my top 5 in the Henlopen and Bayside, respectively, and they played like it in this game. They were going back and forth all game. Kyle Gamber, one of the best shooters in the Henlopen. He makes the 3. It's good. He had 2 long-range bombs in the first quarter. But Hudson, on the other end, responds with a pull-up 3 of his own. I mean, this Governor's Challenge was a come-out party for the sophomore right there. He was great in both of these games. Now, both the Clippers and Panthers were throwing haymakers off the dribble. Sakai Smullen glides right to the rim for a scoop layup. And then Darrell Little, he comes right back down and knocks a tough pull-up 2. Bennett led by 2 points after 1 quarter. The second quarter was kind of close as well. Gamber had a big game, 21 points, thanks to his smooth jump shot.
It is smooth, too. He's one of my favorite shooters in all of Delaware. Hudson with the crafty, acrobatic layup right here. 19 in the game, and Bennett led by 9. And we would begin to get a little, get out in transition a little bit over the Panthers here. Darion Collins finishing the fast break, and then Zakai Smullen muscling his layup in, and he's going to flex on Poly with 23 points. Polytech wouldn't fall behind by much, but they could never get that deficit down to less than a 2-possession game in the fourth quarter. The and one by Gamber, and then the transition slam by Darrell Little brings them within 5 with 20 seconds left, but too little too late in the end. Bennett holds on to win a tough battle. And this was a great win for Bennett, by the way, but got to mention Xavier Brewington was out of this game for Polytech. The Panthers still a really good team, really disciplined. That was a big loss for Polytech there.
Yeah, but Bennett, again, they've shown that they are a team to be reckoned with in the Bayside. They've
taking nothing away from Bennett from that win. It would have been great to see Polytech at full strength for this game.
Absolutely.
Now let's talk about Parkside for a second. The Rams falling to both Cesar Rodney and Seaford, but they put up some good fights this week. They had Seaford on the ropes for much of that first half. I think Parkside's got great players like Bryant Waters, Isaac Roberts, and they've got size in the paint as well. They just need to put it all together.
Now, in their defense, in terms of why they lost both of their games in the Governor's Challenge, Dahavion Collins, which is their tallest player that gets significant minutes, he missed both of those games. I think he was injured. He didn't play in either of the games in the Governor's Challenge. But again, overall, though, even when he was playing, they were struggling a little bit in the start of their season in the Bayside. But we will see. Hopefully, they can use this experience to get a little better. Now, to another great game. This is between Smyrna and Queen Anne's Eagles. They were 0-4 coming into the Governor's Challenge, but they had a pretty successful Governor's Challenge, if I say so myself. The Smyrna Eagles, they were facing off against Queen Anne's. Now, Queen Anne's is another top team in the Bayside as well. Now, you see Kobe Williams, he's going to get the ball. They go around the world.
Yeah, great ball movement on this possession.
And he knocks it down, that three-pointer. The three-point shot was great. That was nothing but net. And then they get another three-pointer on the other end. That's Vincent Gilberto. He was in the three-point contest in the semifinal, and he showed why right there with that J right there. The Eagles, though, they were tight defensively, but they lose track of Chase Sullivan under the rim.
Can't let that happen.
Can't let that happen. I know the coach was upset about that. Queen Anne's held the lead for much of the first half. Here comes Smyrna, though. Time running down on the clock. The ball finds Obi Coleman. The shot is up, and he connects. Coleman ties things up as we head into the locker rooms.
Yeah, and the Lions would regain their momentum in the second half. Here's a shot that missed by KJ Smothers, but Jai Roy, he muscling his way for the rebound there. Queen Anne's goes on to win by 4. But I loved what Coach Hollis had to say about his team after this win. Queen Anne's goes 2-0 in the Governor's Challenge, and he says he wants his guys to put 4 solid quarters together. And you know what? He's right, because if they do that, they're going to be very tough to beat. They are, to me, on the elite tier with Y-High in the Bayside this year. All right, now Easton and Cesar Rodney matching up on Thursday. Easton came roaring all the way back from 15 down in the first half. Things looked bleak, but Marshall Bailey sensational for Easton with 21 points. I think Jordan Nixon, Sean Moody, and Bailey, they've got a good core if O'Connor does come back with this team. He was at the Governor's Challenge this week, but it was great to watch them complete this comeback.
Yeah, they missed the all-Bayside performer all season, but the way that they won this game and this exposure against the Henlopen is great experience that, again, I think they're going to take a level up for the rest of the season. Now, the Washington Jaguars, they were in the boys bracket. They face Seed High School to kick off the Governor's Challenge on Monday. They were in the boys bracket. Zamir Harris gets the pass and drains the 3, but Seed responds with a corner 3 themselves, and they knock it down from the corner. They kept the pressure on Washington all all day. Miles gets the layup to fall right here. And then later on the inbound, Harris is going to get the ball, and he's going to knock it down. He's going to knock down that mid-range J right there. He led the Jags with 18 points. Now, Seed, though, trading 2 for 3. And when you're making the 3 ball and the other team is only making 2s, you're going to win.
That math adds up.
Yeah, that's exactly what ended up happening. Jalen Wigfall takes a dribble, pull up, and that's a 2, though. The Jags and Seed were in a dogfight for much of the game. Seeds ends up in transition, and Mercer gets the ball, makes a couple of passes, and swings it to another teammate who makes the wide-open layup. Washington put up a good fight, but they're beaten by Seed 58-52.
Now, great job by Washington. They did take that third-place game against Arcadia. Washington, of course, is a team that is on the rise this year in the Bayside. Now on to Sussex Central. This team is on my radar because the Golden Knights have now won 4 straight games, 2 in the Governor's Challenge, a team that went 2-17 last year. First-year head coach this year. The Knights took care of Snow Hill and Colonel Richardson with ease. Jameel Watson, he had 18 in this matchup with Snow Hill on Monday. And watch out for Philip Dowdy. You cannot leave him wide open on the perimeter. He hit 9 tray balls against Colonel Richardson in their game on Wednesday. That kid, only a sophomore. Clarence McBride Allen, he's a junior center who grabs some boards and contributes offensively for the Knights. But Jameel Watson is that senior leader for him. I love what the Knights are doing. They can beat you inside, outside. I'm excited to see where this team goes. They're 4-1 already.
Yep, and there's another team that you have to look out for in the Henlope. And there's a couple teams that have made some turnarounds from last season. You know, Sussex Central, Cape as well. Those are teams that you definitely have to look out for. And now over to Woodbridge and Colonel Richardson, the Blue Raiders, forcing the issue. Seatric Stones finds Isaiah Giles in the paint for the easy bucket. The Colonel's sloppy, though, but they somehow get dread. Somehow he gets this one to drop right here. Woodbridge patient, though, on the next possession. He puts up the long 2, and he sinks it. Look at that ball movement right there. He's like, you know what? I'm going to do it myself off the dribble.
Dips in for 2.
Right, and that's a tough shot. 15, and Woodbridge was ahead 15 at half. Sharing is carrying, though. They were playing unselfish basketball. The turnover, though, up to Malachi Hayes, and he gets it back to Stones for the lay-in. Devin W. for Colonel with the fadeaway bucket. Nice finish, but the Colonels were out of this one in the entire second half. In the end, it was Woodbridge who ran away with this one. Tracy Johnson led Woodbridge with 29 points. They win by 39.
Yeah, good win for Woodbridge. I think if they can become more consistent, they'll be a team that can win a lot of games this season. All right, a mixed bag for Smyrna in the tournament this week. They take care of business against Cambridge South Dorchester, but then they fall to Queen Anne's. If one player really stood out to me this week for the Eagles, it was the junior, Obi Coleman.
Oh, yeah, no, he was really good. Now, again, Smyrna started their year off 0-4, but they performed pretty well in the Governor's Challenge. Again, as you mentioned, they beat Cambridge. They only lose by 4 to the Lions, and anything that they can get right now is a win because they're not getting blown out like they were in the first 4 games of the season. Now, Brandon, on Monday, social media was ablaze because the Henlopen went 5-0 against the Bayside.
It was a bloodbath.
It was a bloodbath. But the final tally, by my count, after the entire Shore Showcase, 10-8 Henlopen.
It seemed like a mixed bag. It seemed like the Bayside really held their own. And the thing to remember about this is that for Delaware teams, these games count on their records. For Bayside teams, doesn't count on their records when it comes to the playoffs.
But I'm positive, obviously, those Bayside teams wanted to win just as much as those
Absolutely. You go out there,
teams.
You go out in the court, you're playing at the Civic Center, you're playing at UMES, you want to win those basketball games, but it does make somewhat of a difference that Delaware teams are playing for points for their playoff positioning, whereas Bayside teams are going out there to play in a game that really doesn't matter.
Absolutely. Now, again, I think the talent disparity is in favor of the Henlopen overall when it comes to who has the better teams at the top, especially at the top of the conference. But I think it's marginal. I didn't think it was a 5-0 blowout.
I don't know you can say that because Y-High beat Dover. You have Queen Anne's that beat Smyrna. I think maybe at the bottom of the conferences, you've got the Henlopen with more depth in their conference compared to the Bayside. But right now, I got to think that the Bayside has just as good of competition at the top of their conference as the Henlopen does.
Yeah, I just think overall, though, being down 5-0 in the Shore Showcase was not a good look for the Bayside, but I think they did a great job in terms of over the past 4 days of kind of cleaning that up and kind of getting back into
all about those matchups.
Yes.
It really is.
Absolutely.
All right, we're taking a timeout. Let's take a commercial break right now. It was the first year of the Moolah Girls Showcase. Those highlights are coming up next on Delmarva Sports Insider.
My name is Donterius Jones from Lowell Basketball, and you're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.